Did you have fun while I was gone?
Mm-hmm.
You did? What'd you do? All right, just got back from a 5-state, 9-day, 2,400-mile adventure focusing on Idaho. And before we get Pete here to clean up the bike, you ready to clean up the bike, Pete? Before we take everything off and clean it all up, it's a good opportunity to show you again what works and what doesn't work on such an adventure, because the packing for these adventures is always such a evolution to learn how to do and learn how to do correctly. And this particular load worked out really, really well. So let's go over a few things and show you what worked well for this trip. I don't think I brought along anything that I did not need for this trip. So finally getting us figured out. Okay, first start out with this DeLorme. First time using the DeLorme, and the Packer Tracker from Giant Loop here. Straps right on there, onto your vest, so it's with you all the time, not on the bike. It gives it a nice solid connection here, so it's not going to come off of you. And of course, the great thing about the DeLorme product is that you can message home, and that's a big relief to everybody back home. And they can message to you also, so back and forth you've got positive communications using the GPS satellites to eliminate any confusion as to what the heck you're up to, why you're parked in front of that cat house, or where's your flat tire. So use the DeLorme with the messaging system. Costs more money, of course. Besides the DeLorme tracker strapped onto the vest, you got your usual stuff, your water bottle. I keep my fishing gear right back in this pocket here. First aid kit, a rag for wiping your glasses or your brow. Keep your lights, one or two of these headlights right here, easy access, so when you first pull into camp you can get to them. Something to start a fire with, and then keep these two pockets kind of empty if you can, so you can fill them up with foodstuffs at the gas station before you head off to camp. There's a water purifier emergency thing. You can always fill this up with creek water and then suck off the straw there to get the good water out of there. Something I learned from one of the breweries. She packed me one of these to wrap around your beer as you slip it into your pack for the trip home to camp. Oh, yes, you're in bear country. Get yourself a line so you can take your groceries and hoist it up into the tree. What are the specifications there? 12 feet high, 4 feet, or 6 feet from the stump of the tree. Speaking of groceries, in this bag here, you get a little reusable grocery bag, or one of those Chico bags, even better yet. And you can get all your food stuff in there and get it up in the tree. There is a fine camping dinner. That and a little bit of Bushmills, and you're set for the night. Regarding the groceries, remember you're going to stop for gas at some point during the day. You're going to get whatever you need for the night and head out with it, so you're not carrying around days worth of food, and just keep enough emergency stash for a night in the woods with no opportunity to get any food that evening. The place might be closed. Or you can always catch fish and eat them too. Jackets. Bring 2 jackets, one breathable jacket for the hot part of the day, and then one warm jacket, because man, it got cold, with a liner. That warm jacket, you can also stuff pockets full of storage. You can use the pockets for storage. And at night, this makes a great additional blanket over your sleeping bag when the temperature outside exceeds the rating of your sleeping bag. If you put this over on the top of you, and even put your riding pants over the bottom half of you, you can create a bit of a blanket inside your tent on a cold night. Speaking of clothes, riding clothes, same thing, just one t-shirt, one pair of Carhartt shorts. I like riding with these cotton socks, and just bring some spare underwear and socks with you, and one clean shirt. For nighttime, I got my warmies, a pair of wool socks at night, the thermal underwear bottoms, and a clean t-shirt, and a stocking knit cap. You change into those clean clothes every night and you will stay warm and dry. The Climb Mojave riding pants, which are the breathable pants for the hot weather, work great in both hot and cold weather. If you can use those thermals underneath them if you want. I brought these inexpensive knee protectors with me. Not that they're such great knee protectors, but they also are great in the cold weather, keep your legs warm. And when you're in camp, these make great things for getting in and out of the tent, or a place to put your feet, to keep your feet kind of clean when you're getting in and out of the tent. So they got multiple uses. I found them very handy. The boots got the what are these, the Forma boots. Very, very comfortable still. The soles are coming out of them a little bit. You got to fuss with those, get those nice and even, so there's no wrinkles. Now the top part of these boots start chafing a little bit of the leg, so I end up with a lot of these handkerchiefs wrapped around my leg inside of here to keep the upper part of your leg protected. And then one more for your neck. And these, of course, you can use for any number of purposes around the camp. Washing your dishes, washing your face. Riding glasses. Still love to have a pair of Target glasses for the low visibility parts of the day when you're riding. And then, here they are, the regular polarized sunglasses for the bright time of the day. For riding gloves, your choice. I like a thin pair of gloves. I just like these mechanics gloves. Not great hand protection, but great for riding ability. But because the weather's getting cold out there, it's time to get the Oxford grips, heated grips fired up. These were a real lifesaver in the mornings when the days started out so cold. With those thin gloves and these grip heaters, it's a great combination. Also, that helped the storm guards help break the wind. Shoei helmet, open face, still my preference, even in the cold weather. And bugs in the GoPro mount. Still looking for a better solution than having the camera up on top here. For personal protection, you want to do something for your lips. You might want to do something a little better than I did for sunblock. I think some of this is frostbite as well. It was cold. And wet wipes, don't forget those. The old tin cup for a cocktail hour or coffee in the morning, and oatmeal. Trash, pack it in, pack it out. You're always going to be in places where you got to pack out your trash, so that's still got to be thrown away. Pair of sandals, that's the only other pair of shoes I'm bringing with me on the trip. As soon as you land at the end of the day, get your sweaty, stinky feet out of those boots and into your sandals so you don't get trench foot. The Hot Springs swimming shorts, keep it outside so it dries off. It doesn't get wet inside the bag there. So we had our food stuffed in this bag, and over here we got just about everything we need to change a tire. Chain oil. I found this, instead of getting an aerosol can, this is a great way to, a lightweight way to carry chain oil with you and to get it onto the chain every day. Some slime, some tire irons, bicycle pump, and the EnduroStar trial stand to prop the bike up on the trail since you no longer have a center stand. 12-volt USB port here, wired up hot to the battery so I can charge my electronics, including that Delorme tracker at night, and that worked good, charging it up off of the bike, and it does not drain or hurt the battery to start it in the morning if you charge your cell phone and a Delorme or a GoPro camera off of this overnight. Inside the giant loop bag, Diablo bag, baseball hat, some maps, something soft to carry your sunglasses and your reading glasses in so you're not chafing them all up. The Rally Raid tire changing tools, which came in handy, spare batteries, charging electronics devices, toothbrush, any medications you got, and some shampoo. SD cards, tow rope, not necessary, you're riding a Honda. All right. Let's talk about GPS and navigation. This is the Garmin 62. Been a great GPS, but I think I'm finally ready to consider upgrading to a Montana. This GPS eats batteries. There's no easy way to get this powered up by the bike. I think it's just a mini USB port, and that just would be constantly falling out of the backside of the GPS if that's the case, to hotwire it. Also, this GPS, though its great 24K topography, requires, in a 5-state loop, it required 3 different $80 maps to get the entire ride covered. And it's a pain to switch out those SD cards and find the correct one for the region you're riding in. The screen is kind of small and hard to read. I think it's time to upgrade to a Montana, mounted right here, hot wired off the bike. With those riding glasses, which I prefer the glasses, especially solo, that gets air into my head and helmet, keep me cool. But when you get in those dusty situations, or you start riding with somebody else, bring the goggles along with you. The MRA sports screen on top of here work great on those long sections of slab, keeping the wind off of your face. Simple throttle lock, also for those long slab sections. 2 more items inside the bag is a good tire pressure gauge, keep those tires properly inflated, and a bottle opener. Number 2, now when you're time to fill up, you just unzip the one side and get to your fuel filler cap. And if you're done for the day and want to take this inside of room with you, you can just unzip it and take it with you, now that you've got your electronics squared away with this Rally Raid plate. Cabela's Stowaway 6 fly rod right here. So with the fly rod here and the reel and the flies in my Ogeo vest, you're quickly able to deploy and go after those fish as you see them riding along the rivers and streams like you do in Idaho. Find a good spot, stop, bam, you're fishing right away. You don't have to take anything out of any bags to get those fish. So let's open this up now and show you what's packed inside the bag. Continental TKC A80 tires. I can't say enough good things about them, except they're damn expensive, but boy do these things work. Coming back home on the twisties on 49, you can just lean this thing right over on the asphalt. It just grips like glue when they're in relatively new shape. They are only lasting about 3,500 miles on the rear here, and they're very expensive tire. I just ran into the Continental tire guy today at the moto shop, and there's a big rebate, I guess, program going on where you can get some cash back on buying a set of these. But off-road, nothing works better. I tried the Shinko. They kind of ball up with mud. This block pattern, staggered like this, does not fill up with mud. The new Scorpion exhaust was nice and quiet for the long ride. It was not overly loud at all. Just a nice throaty note way back there in the background. Pivot pegs, still love them, especially on those rock and rollin' ATV trails. Just love that rocking motion of the pivot pegs. Rally Raid bash guard, still getting a good workout on the trails there, protecting the engine. Having no problems at all with this motor mounts. I keep a bit of the yellow there to make sure those bolts stay torqued up correctly. From the last ride, I did finally ding the header pipe up there, but they'll survive. 2 big rock straps holding the whole load together, mounted back here. Then I got a lot of pronghorn straps from Giant Loop, just kind of extra, holding the jacket together nice and tight. Everything strapped through a strap so that even if it comes loose, it's going to hang on to the bike. And here's the new Giant Loop Coyote bag roll top. Even though I sometimes only got 1 roll on it, it stayed. Even though I only got 1 roll on it, it stayed nice and clean and dry in there. A little bit of dust over here and there. And I was able to fit the big Benchmark Atlas in there and quickly and easily get to it throughout the day, rather than fighting with the zipper. Here's the other warm piece of thermal you want for night time use. Keep all your clothes now in a nice dry pod from Giant Loop with the vented top, so you can smash that thing down and really squeeze it in there tight. The jet boil, complete with the spork, and 1 extra fuel container in there somewhere. Oh, my big Agnes sleeping mattress finally blew out. It's flat. got to patch it or get another one. But that's a real lifesaver for keeping you warm at night, sleeping on the ground. The Silky Big Boy, I didn't run into any problems this time, but if you, all it would take is one tree on those long trails to, boy, you could create a huge turnaround if you didn't have a saw. Also at night, cutting wood for firewood. That works great. Silky Big Boy means something to some other people from other camps altogether. One each camping pillow. One each 18-inch inner tube, per Jenny Morgan's suggestion. One inner tube, 18 inches between the two wheels, the 17-inch rear or the 19-inch front. That tube should work. And see how it was laying down in here real nicely. One each sleeping bag is stuffed into here, and it's stuffed into that leg real nice. Still clean and dry. Didn't even have to have it in a dry pod. What else? I think that's it. Oh yeah, and one more jet boil can, good for about 28 burns maybe. Quite a few burns on one can. Wait, there's more. And one emergency chicken and rice. The tent goes in here, pegs, and the footprint. That's the REI Passage one-man tent. You want to pack that sequentially, so you get the footprint out first, lay that down, then get the tent and the poles and set that up, and then get your top put on. So pack sequentially, so you're not getting everything all dirty out there in the dirt. And that is everything you need to ride indefinitely. Your t-shirt and underwear, you can just throw them away as you go along. Socks, same too, burn them up. Or if you're civilized, go take them to the laundry and get them laundered and go some more. Things that work. Takes years to figure this stuff out. Lots of practice. So go out there and do some more adventures of your own and get this worked out. I would estimate this entire load is 30 pounds or less, and it's a practical solution to get you into all the different kinds of trails that this bike is capable of. Everything from 350 miles of slab, freeway, 80 miles an hour, down to 6-inch green dot single track, and everything in between. ATV trails, rocky Jeep trails, overbrushed trails. The CB500X just did wonderfully. It's really the best all-around bike I've ever owned. And the last important place to store stuff is what's under the seat. You can get the last of your tools in under here. If you do some more cleanup, like maybe clean that up, a few other things, you can even make more room. Here's some JB weld, a set of Allen wrenches, a couple more tire irons, and a basic tool kit in the giant loop dry bag here. How'd that fare? Did pretty good under there. Now you do better with one of those Trail Tech Universal toolkits that Jenny Morgan showed us about, or you can bodge together your own basic toolkit and get it stuffed in underneath there. What do we got here? Oh yeah, some tire patching equipment here. So that's the last bit of room you have to stuff stuff for your adventure. Under the seat, great place to get some tools that hopefully you won't need to get to, as I didn't need to get to on this last adventure, because you got Honda reliability. And I also want to take this opportunity to say thanks to everybody for watching the Blanco Lirio YouTube channel. It's turned into a bit of a monster, this hobby of mine. Over 2 million channel views and 3,300 subscribers so far. So we must be doing something right. Good night, ladies. I gotta go to Jarbidge.